There are a ton of contractors, woodworkers, DIYers out there who don't have the time or the budget for a full-blown woodworking shop to get great results on millwork. This $170 tapered sanding disc will up the game and change the game for you. Check this out. And check that out, gang. Perfectly machined stock, perfect 90 degrees, glue ready, stain ready, whatever you need for your project, and we did it all on a job site table saw. Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna be doing something a little bit different today. You see, our friends are about to open this massive indoor kids playground.
You gonna make it?
I'm gonna make it. They got a couple of scary contractor quotes and they asked us if we could help them out. So obviously we are not at the Stud Pack Dream House today. We are off-site at this awesome indoor playground. But we're not gonna be working on the playground behind me. It's all done. We're gonna build 9 interior custom windows, and you're not gonna believe how great they turn out or how inexpensive we were able to make these for our bud. First thing we need is some lumber. Let's head to the lumber yard. All right, guys, it's not really a lumber yard. It's more like a millwork shop, and this place is awesome. It's independently owned. They have doors, windows, and as you can see, it's really organized. They give us a great price on all this lumber. As you can see, I still need a lumber rack for my truck. Got it strapped down. I sent Rad up on the cab to tape that up with some plastic. That lasted about 1 mile before it blew off. Great job, Rad, appreciate that. But now that we're all tied off, let's head back to the shop and get these things built. All right, guys, we are back at the Stud Pack garage, all unloaded. And Jordan, do you mind if we turn your garage into a mill shop for a couple of days?
Not at all.
Perfect. Thanks, bud. Really appreciate that. Now we got our setup set right here, our cut-off station. Got our nice DeWalt here. Put a nice finishing blade on there so we get nice, smooth cuts. And we cobbled together this outfeed station. It's got a piece of LVL for a stop, my Festool fence for a fence. It's not where I want to be, but it's light years ahead of where I usually am, on the ground, on my tailgate, on a folding table. We have our cut list right here. We're making 9 windows, so we need 36 pieces of wood for our frames. All my dimensions are right here. We don't have to do any math. All we can do now is cut, and no tape measures. We're gonna rely on our fence for multiple cuts, and they're all gonna be exactly the same. Let's get started. All right, guys, all our frame pieces are cut. Now it's time to make some trim. That's why we need this stack of 1x4s. Let's crank up the saw and cut some wood. All right, guys, I already took the blade off in preparation for our next step, but check this out. I could tell as I was ripping all that wood, probably a couple 100 feet, that the blade was getting less and less happier. It was struggling the more we went, and I think I know why. Check it out. This wood is pretty good, but look at the end of these 2 boards. This is filler. They call this primed wood. Maybe that's some kind of paint with a filler added. I think it's some kind of gypsum. That's what it feels like and looks like. But if you know, let us know in the comments. But I think running all that filler, gypsum, whatever you want to call it, is not good for my saw blade. And the filler is a good thing, right? It turns this board, which would really be unusable, into something we can use, and it's gonna look nice when it's painted. And check it out. Here's the first board we ran through it. Pretty nice cut, almost usable, not quite. But here's the last board. Look at all the chip out. Look at all the saw marks. Definitely not usable. Now, I've been a remodeling contractor, general contractor all my life, never really been into the cabinet building because I didn't have a $10,000 wood shop with joiners and planers to accomplish the finishes that we need for cabinet quality work. So I bought this $170 tapered sanding disc that's guaranteed to give us the edges that we're looking for without breaking the bank. Let's throw it in the table saw and see if it works. Now, no, this disc is not for cutting wood, it's for sanding wood. It doesn't have any teeth, so they send you 4 sheets of this donut-shaped sandpaper. We just peeled off the back. I'm gonna put this on this side. I already have one on the other side. 2 different grits. How easy is that? All right, guys, we've got 80 grit on one side, 120 on the other. I'm gonna put it on my arbor with 80 grit facing the fence. I believe that's the side I'm gonna start with. Let's get this thing mounted, and we're gonna show you what's so special about this tapered disc. All right, guys, we got our sanding disc mounted in the saw, but check this out. When I go to put the throat plate in there, the blade, the sanding disc won't come up through there. It's made for the wood blade, not the sanding disc. So I guess I'm just gonna have to upgrade my saw to the throat plate I really want to cut wood and modify the one that came with the saw to use with the sanding disc.
You have no other choice.
Sometimes you gotta make a sacrifice and modify a tool just so you can buy that one you really want. Did I go all the way? Oh yeah, it looks factory, huh?
Yeah, what are you so scared about?
I don't know. So this is acrylic. I knew I wouldn't have any problem, but always kind of, you know, something new. But it was cool. I could use the fence to guide my router. All right, let's throw that blade on there, see if it works. All right, guys, our slot came out great. Looks really professional. Really happy with that. Now the sanding disc will come up through there, no problem at all. Now it is a tapered disc, so we dialed it in so that this face is perfectly square with the table. And why is that important? Check this out. So let me put this factory edge of the board against the disc and then see how I can rock it. That's because it's only making contact here in the center where it is perfectly square with the table. So let's set up our fence, run a test piece through there, see how this guy works. All right, guys, I wish you could be here right now and feel that and feel what I'm feeling. That is everything that I was hoping it would be and more. And this disc right here was made by a fellow YouTuber, Mike Farrington. He's got an awesome website, MikeFarrington.com. Check out his channel, check out his website after you watch this video. But for right now, let's get our saw set up so we can run the rest of our material through and build our windows. All right, guys, check it out. We have all our frames built. Super excited about that. We have 6, basically a 3x3 square, and 3 that are basically 3x5. We have one out here in the sun for you. Let's check it out. On the corners, we did a simple butt joint. That's how everything's gonna be on this build. And we made that connection with 1 1/4 inch crown staples. I love a pneumatic staple gun. It is really strong and really, really fast. Now we put the factory edge of these 1x all on this side. If you come around to the other side, that's the edge we sanded with the tapered disc. And it needs to be nice because you're gonna see both sides. This is an interior window. Imagine I'm in the office and out here is the business area. It's not an exterior window, it's an interior window. Now that these are all done, it's time for our next step. We have 6, 9, 18 casing frames to make. We're gonna make them, build them, so when we get to the site, we can apply the whole thing in one shot. All right, guys, now it's time to pre-assemble our casing. How are we gonna do that? Well, it's woodworking 101. We're gonna use pocket screws. You've been a long-time viewer of the Stud Pack channel. You probably recognize this guy, one of the very first Craig pocket hole jigs, made of solid aluminum. I love this thing. It should probably be in the museum, but I'm not selling it. We already drilled all our holes and it's time to assemble them. The key measurement for us was how long to make all the pieces of casing. So this frame is 34 by 34 on the inside. We want a 3/16 reveal right here to our casing. So we're gonna make those pieces that we're gonna drill 34 and 3/8. Then when we center the frame, that's gonna give us that 3/16 reveal. Hope that makes sense, but if it doesn't, you're gonna see it in action when we install the frames on the windows. So now we're ready to assemble our casing. And Jordan and Rad are the pros at that. So Jordan hopefully is gonna trust me with the camera, and let's watch them put together our last frame.
All right, gang, time to assemble the last casing frame. Even though pocket screws are really simple, there's a lot that you can get wrong if you don't know the little tips and tricks. I'm gonna share a couple here. I actually used to build furniture before I started working with Dad with this YouTube channel, so I have a lot of experience with pocket screws.
Sorry, bud, you have a huge thing in your teeth.
Really?
I didn't want to get the video.
That's okay.
Probably gotta start over.
Just a couple of things. First thing, you're gonna wanna get this if you're using a pocket screw. This is just a Craig clamp. It's got a big foot there for a big surface area. And essentially that's just made to make your joint nice and flat and level. I mean, because when you screw the pocket screws in, it's gonna wanna pull the wood, but this helps to keep it where you want it.
Yeah, and the larger clamping pad goes on the finish side, right?
Yes, and you saw the blue masking tape there so we don't damage the surface. Right. Even the pocket screws, I've got a fine threaded pocket screw. Now, on the packaging, it'll say coarse thread is for softwood. This is softwood, but I found that coarse threads are really aggressive, and if you don't pre-drill, and if you don't have a good pocket hole, it tends to split it. So I actually go against the grain, and I use the fine threaded stuff on projects like this. I just think it works better. Here we've got 1 1/4 inch. Dad bought 1 1/2 inch, and that was too long, and we ruined one. He didn't want me to say that, but.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Boom, impact twice. The #1 trick for pocket screws is do not over tighten these things.
Look how nice that looks already.
Yep, when you're framing.
There, Dad.
When you're framing stuff, it's okay to over tighten a screw, but with pocket screws, you cannot over tighten. Yeah, it's super nice. And then that's really flat and nice, but we're gonna sand that corner just a little bit. You would think that pocket screwing was easy, but
yeah, if we had an assembly table, it'd be really cool, but this is the flattest thing I got is my saw stop.
True.
So maybe one day we'll build an assembly table.
Yep. How you doing on the camera?
It's okay. All right, gang, all of our window parts are made up, loaded up, got all the tools in Rad's truck. Let's head over to the church, get them installed. All right, guys, we are back here at this awesome indoor playground, and we were here a few days ago. We made all our measurements, and Rad and I actually made a stealth trip, a third trip on the side to double check one more time. All our frames are made, and it should slide right in. This is always the point where I get nervous. Uh-oh, I'm kidding you. They fit right. Like a glove. Nice. Look at that, guys. You like it? So everything's made up. All our frames, all our casing. Let's take this out, put our casing on it, slide this guy in, see how it looks. All right, guys, here we are over by the first office where we're going to install our very first window. I've got the casing on the ground, the frame rather. Rad's got the casing here. Remember, we made the interior dimension of this casing 3/8 of an inch bigger than the frame. So we have a 3/16 reveal all the way around. All right, gang, we only need 2 tools to attach our frames together. A combination square set to our reveal, 3/16 of an inch, plus this brad nailer that I just happened to pick up this morning.
Really?
Really, I bought a new tool.
You bought a new tool?
I did.
I'm begging you to buy new tools for my house. What, we got to travel somewhere else? We got to go yonder?
I thought for our friends we buy new tools, but for you and your house, I was thinking like caveman style. We'll just use whatever we got in the bin.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're going to start on this first corner. 3/16 there. 3/16 there. Go back and check. I used to make jigs. I know they make tools for that, but I do like that combination square. Fire a nail. Sweet. We'll lock this corner in. All right, I'll just angle it a little bit more straight. I'd prefer it blow out that side from the inside, right? All right, let me get this corner. Sweet.
All right.
So let's finish attaching the 2 frames together, put her in. Cool, look how good that looks. I am super thrilled with that. It's gonna look awesome when it's all painted with the tempered glass in it. Let's pick it up. Rad's got the shims.
Beauty.
And he's gonna center it up, left to right.
One more.
All right, guys, we got the window installed. At least it's in place. We got a few shims in it, so now we're gonna fine tune it to our laser line. That's right, we're using a laser today, no levels, so all 6 windows are perfect. We got our laser on its magnetic base. On that 8x8 column over there, I think that's gonna hold it up. Now, how are we gonna attach these windows to this structure? Look at this, metal studs, can't use nails or regular screws. So what I wanted to use was a trim head self-drilling screw. Tiny head, self-drilling right through the metal stud, bites good, holds it well. But sometimes in life, you just gotta get what the home center has. They didn't even know what a trim head screw was. So, don't hate me, I got self-drilling drywall screws. It's the same thing as a trim screw, except the head is much bigger. And these are gonna work fine. They're gonna hold the window in place and the casing's gonna trap it in the wall. So let's dial this thing in with our shims, install this one, and move on to our next one. Now we're putting this screw in location so that the stop on the other side of the glass on your side is gonna hide it. No patching. All right, guys, we got our window held in place with those drywall screws. Looks awesome. We even brought out another laser. We've got the good old Bosch on the ground for our vertical line. Check that out. And our DeWalt over there on the pole for the horizontal. It doesn't get more precise than that. So now we're gonna cut off our wooden shims with the buzz saw, put the casing on the other side. This one's done, ready for glass. All right, guys, all 9 of our frames are installed and they look fantastic. Being able to dimension that lumber to the perfect size that we needed made all the difference in the world in assembling them at the shop and assembling them here on site. And now it's time for the glass. We've got the big pieces right here, 3 by 5. So we just found a local glass supplier, sent them the exact dimensions, and they had all this glass cut and tempered for us. Commercial building like this, with kids around, gotta have tempered glass, 1/4 inch thick. They're gonna look insane. But we don't wanna video these. We're gonna go across the way here to those little ones. Much easier to film on video. Plus we have an awesome trick we wanna show you to make that glass edge disappear. So what would happen if we took our sheet of glass and we just put it in the opening? Well, we're gonna have a little bit of a problem. Let me show you what that's gonna be. I'm gonna demonstrate this for you. There we go, I'm gonna tip it up. Now we have our pieces of stop, and let me put it in there. Now we have that bare wood edge, but we also have a painted edge. But you're gonna see that from both sides of the window. In other words, you're gonna be able to see down into this gap. And if they paint these windows a dark color, you're gonna see the white, you're gonna see the wood, whatever. And we want that to be black, and it's gonna make it disappear no matter what color they paint this. So the edges of this window need to be black. And there's a few ways you can do that. Usually what we've done in the past, we just paint that. But that's a pain, really.
That's a pain.
But that's a pain, yeah.
That's a pain.
Okay. So here's a better method, and it's gonna do really 3 different things for us. Number 1, it's gonna give us that black edge we're looking for. Number 2, it's gonna kind of give a bumper on all sides of the glass. And the third thing it's gonna do, we're gonna let it run long. The painters can come in here and paint. After they're done, trim it off perfect. It's gonna look great. Now this is just a wide roll of black electrical tape. I wanted something vinyl so that in case they ever wash the windows, which I'm sure they will, it's gonna come down in there and it's not gonna affect the tape. If I used a black paper tape, whenever they wash the windows, it might affect this, but I really like the vinyl. So we're gonna wrap all 4 sides of this, and then we're gonna show you the magic when we put it in the frame. All right, guys, all 4 sides are taped up. It's gonna look awesome. Now I'm gonna set it on the windowsill, but we don't want it right on the windowsill. All these windows came shipped with some little blue rubber pads. So we just cut them into little 1/4 inch strips like this, and our glass is gonna sit on those. Not a big deal since this is made of wood, but if this were like a metal window, you definitely wouldn't wanna put this glass on there. All right, Jordan, I'm in. I'm gonna tip up to you. Boom.
Nice.
Look at that, guys. Nice. All right, guys, here's our stops. Remember the screws we put in? Check out where they are. All planned so that the stop covers those and we don't have to fill them and sand them. The only thing we do have to watch out for is our nail gun hitting them, which we've already done once. Now our stop is in there nice and tight. Rad's got the nail gun. He's gonna tack it in. Boom. Just using 1-inch brads is all we need.
Beauty.
Now we've got our side pieces. Everything's pre-cut, fits like a glove. Absolutely love it. All right, gang, all the glass is installed and these things look fantastic. We love the way they came out, but check this out. Each window has 20 pieces of wood. We built 9 windows. That's 180 pieces of wood. This was a huge job, but they do look great. We've got some Bondo, actually ran across the parking lot to that AutoZone, got some Bondo. We like it because it dries really quick and it takes paint great. Pretty tough to sand, that was on me, but we got it done and we caulked everything as usual. And our next step is to get some primer and prime them. But I want to point out a really cool feature about these windows. We pushed the window back. In other words, we didn't put it in the middle, pushed it back. So you have a little shelf right here. So when you're at the desk and a kid brings you a little flower or something, you can set it right there. That's going to be great. These windows are going to look awesome painted. Let's grab our primer, our brushes, and get these things primed. All right, guys, the windows are all painted, and now it's time for us to pull off the electrical tape. Check it out. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. Really, Stud Pack? Electrical tape? Really? That's your idea? But check this out, gang. Whoa, isn't that sweet? I love it when it does that. It grabs the next corner and you just keep going, right? All right, got a little paint to get off of here. No problem with a razor blade. It's that easy. We're gonna go around the complete window, check it for paint. We're done. All right, gang, our windows are all done, and Jordan, Rad, and I are all super thrilled, super happy about how awesome they turned out. They look like they came out of a factory, and they did. They came out of the Stud Pack factory, and we built these windows pretty inexpensively, I would say. The glass obviously was the biggest cost, $900 plus tax. Just call a glass $1,000. The wood, 440 something, and plus the nails, tape, paint. So total materials right around $1,500. Now their quote for the whole thing was over 4 times that. It's yet to be seen if we charge them labor. They're our buds, they've been taking care of us. But for right now, I am super happy we're done and they look fantastic. All right, guys, this place is coming together, and it is so awesome to see some progress happening on a job site. We don't know what that's all about over where we're working, but it is awesome to be part of the team that helped this playground come together for the parents and the kids in our local community. All right, guys, that's going to be a wrap on this video. We sure hope you enjoyed it. We had a blast making it, and thanks for hanging around while we did something a lot different from our normal content. We hope you enjoyed it. So get yourself a tapered sanding disc. Make yourself a custom frame for your like button. Smash it for us. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. It's Christmas time. Don't forget to check out our merch. I'm not wearing any, over at bunkerbranding.com. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram at StudPackOfficial. And we'll see you right back here on the StudPack channel on our very next video. And I'm gonna go take another lap in this thing.